Okay, so to get started, I went ahead and cut my plywood using a circular saw, a guide, and a piece of foam. And then the next step is to cut my trim pieces. They're 1x2. Now all of this is red oak, so it is a little bit more costly, but it's going to create a beautiful, solid piece of furniture that has beautiful grain, smells wonderful, and stains beautifully as well. So to me, it's worth the investment, and I'm still saving over $1,000 instead of buying the beautiful Pottery Barn version. So the build plan is by pineandpoplar.com. I will include the link to the exact dresser that I'm building right now. And for $12, you get detailed instructions, cut list, diagram pictures, and the ability to modify the size of all of her designs. So what I'm doing here is, with all my pieces cut and my pocket holes drilled, I am gluing and clamping these. They're really just decorative. They're not supportive of it anyway. And my biggest tip right here is let the glue dry about 20-30 minutes and then go ahead and attach with your brad nail gun. Now she tells you every step to do and how to do it. I'm just going to provide some tips that I learned along the way and some things to keep in mind. I also built this in the winter, which is why I'm doing things in my dining room, which I would not recommend. But it was freezing outside and in the garage, so I moved things in here. Now this Craig clamp is amazing. Again, you want to glue before you screw, and the clamp is holding it in place. I don't think I would never advise to just screw in without clamping. And you definitely want to wipe away extra glue so that it doesn't mess with your staining job. So after you have the end pieces on and you have 3/4 of your frame connected, you're going to go ahead and set that around your side piece. And then once that is in place, I use these huge picture frame clamps because I didn't have a helper, and I also put some support boards underneath so that it would make sure that it was flush. You want this inside piece flush with the frame. And honestly, I've never worked with oak before, and it's a much harder wood than I'm used to. And so it takes some strength, but if I can do it, you can do it. So as you can see, I have 3 pocket holes on the short ends, and then it looks like about 5 on the long ends. And all of those details are included in the Pine and Poplar build plan. She shows you where to put the pocket holes on everything. And the pocket holes are always on the ugly side of the wood because that will be facing inside. You're never going to see these. But they are a really easy joinery method for beginner and intermediate woodworkers. I don't think I could build without pocket holes. And so I'm also using the pocket hole screws from Craig. And I like the pan head ones myself because they fit perfectly inside the pocket hole. So once you have your sides built, I went ahead and I attached the bottom, and then you can see that style support piece across the top. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to hold this back piece steady because I don't have another pair of hands. I don't have a helper. And these clamps worked again. So are they necessary? No, but they sure helped me. As you can see, my left arm is reaching behind just to kind of hold that wood. The back side is supposed to be flush. I believe mine is almost perfectly flush. Not perfect though. And I'm using the leverage of my left hand to help me get these screws in. So once you have all of your pocket holes screwed in, then your back is on and you're good to go. Now I procrastinated this step. It's the decorative trim along the top edge and the bottom edge. Now I procrastinated this because I'm not great at precision cuts. And with your 45-degree cuts on this, I kept going back outside, shaving a hair off. I just want to make sure they're just right. And then I kind of got a hang of it. Now, as you can see on the left there's a slight gap. My plywood was bowing a little bit, and my top pieces weren't perfectly flush. I was pretty frustrated, but there was I didn't know how to fix it without starting from scratch. So I took a piece of square dowel trim and I just covered up the little space with that. You'll see it at the very end, so make sure you look around the top. It's a little bit lighter in color because it's not oak, but it did the trick for me, and I was satisfied. So this was a huge learning curve for me using oak and building such an impressive piece, but I could not have done it without the Pine and Poplar build plans, telling me every step of the way, showing me diagrams and explaining it. And I even referred to some of her videos that she offers for free on the blog. So as I'm attaching this decorative trim piece with wood glue, I'm clamping it and then adding my brad nails. And then I wasn't sure if I was going to fill the nails, but I ended up filling the nail holes with wood filler, and she recommends a great wood filler as well. So once you have the base dresser done, it's time to move on to the drawers. And I was getting really excited because I felt like I was about halfway done, but there's a lot of little steps in between. For instance, this oak edge banding, I'm using the cotton setting on my iron, and you want to have a little overhang on each side. And the cotton setting wasn't too hot to burn it, but it definitely did a great job melting the adhesive and attaching the edge banding. My biggest tip for this step is to, once you iron on the edge banding, walk away. Make sure that it fully cools to the touch. It shouldn't feel warm. It should be cool and ready to cut. That way, when you trim the edge, which is what I'm doing right now, it doesn't shift, it doesn't move, it doesn't lift, because it's already attached and cooled. So once you have your edge banding on, then go ahead and add these 1/4 inch thick trim pieces. They're about 2 inches wide, and they're very easy to cut. They're also oak. You can find them at Lowe's, and it's just like fitting a puzzle. And I used brad nails, shorter ones this time, and of course glue and a clamp. This part went by pretty fast. The cutting, you want to cut your trim for each drawer. I thought my drawers were perfect, but when it comes to trim, you just want to make sure even a hair, if you're a hair off, you cut it correctly. So once your drawer fronts are decked out in the trim, except for the 2 smaller drawers up top, it's time to assemble your boxes. Now you can see in the background on the floor, I went ahead and set out all 5 pieces for each drawer. I made sure that they all fit, they were cut perfectly, and then I just assembled one drawer at a time, making sure you use wood glue whenever possible before adding your screws. Now with the drawers, they are 1/2 inch thick pine, basically. They're sandy or maple. It's a lighter wood, less expensive wood, and it's not as thick as the 3/4 inch oak for the dresser, but they worked out great. Now I made sure to have the pretty side on the inside of my drawers, and you can also add the edge banding to the tops. I kind of wish I would have, I didn't, but it's okay. So once your drawers are all done, it is time to do one of the most intricate parts of the whole process, in my opinion. You are going to add your drawer slides. Now I use soft close. They are linked in the description. One box of, I don't know how many, 10 or something, covered the whole dresser for me. And in the Pine and Poplar plan, she tells you exactly where to set the drawer slide, on the drawer and inside the dresser. So you just have to measure 3 times, double check, triple check, make sure you're good to go. And then I used a carpenter square to make sure that the slide was perfectly straight. You drill you pre-drill your screw holes, and I didn't use the screws that came with the slides. They were a little bit long, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't a big deal. I just went and found number 6 ones that fit perfectly. Once you have it on the drawer, you detach the rest of the slide, and the part I just pointed out, that's the front of it. Even though that little white part stuck out more, I'm measuring where I pointed out that flat piece. Pine and Poplar tells you to put a spacer board here, and she tells you exactly where to inset it in. And that is so that when your drawers close, they are perfectly flush with the front. And that accounts for the trim work and everything. So once I have my spot marked, and level, I'm going to pre-drill. Now this was tricky because there's nothing in the back or along the side. Some people, when they teach drawers, installing drawers, they put boards on the side and make sure those are level. So I had to use a level. I had to hold it flush, balance it, and pre-drill, and then drill my screws, and it was all in this tight spot. So it got a little crazy sometimes, but if you are patient and you just double, triple check your level and your marks, it's going to be fine. All of my drawers, I had no problems with the drawers. I did have problems with these, see the divider styles in front? Those are not even supportive. Those are really just dividers. I had the most problem getting those perfectly placed, to be honest. I had to undo them and redo them once. Once you get your drawer slides in, pop your drawer in. It's not going to go perfectly smooth at first, but just try it a few times, test the soft close, and you're going to be so excited when they all work beautifully. Once your drawers are in, then you can start adding the hardware spots on the drawer fronts. Now, as you can see, I've already stained the drawer fronts before I started pre-drilling for the cabinet knobs, the drawer knobs. And I love this Craig knob. I guess it's a jig. I used it for all of our kitchen and bathroom cabinets when we moved into this house. It works great. So I found the center. I popped it. There's a measurement in the back. Added the correct measurement for the inset, and it was so fast to drill all of my holes. So once you have, as you can see, I already did the bottom one. Once you have the fronts ready, go ahead and put your drawer in. And Pine Poplar says she likes to use a stack, like a deck of cards, to make sure that the thickness around the top, bottom, and sides are all equal. I just use these wood shims on the left and right, and then I use this metal ruler. Double check with a measuring tape to make sure everything's equal. But then you're going to take wood screws and temporarily go into the holes you pre-drilled for the knobs. And this is how you're going to temporarily attach the front to the drawer. Carefully pull that out and then use your clamps to get them in. Now, I used a ruler to mark. As you can see, I'm using a ruler to pre-drill. I wanted my screws even. And I'm also using a drill bit that it has the screw so that it's recessed into the drawer. Not the biggest deal if they're not. I just wanted that clean look. So I screwed 2 holes on each side, added the screws, removed my temporary wood screws. Then you want to add your bit to go all the way through for your knobs. And I had to I love these knobs, but I had to buy some longer screws to go through the 3/4 inch front and then the 1/2 inch plywood. Home Depot had them. It wasn't a big deal. And I will link to these knobs. They're on Amazon and they are gorgeous. They had very high ratings and I could see why. I believe they're solid brass and they have a beautiful finish. So once all your fronts are on and your hardware is in, you're good to go. Now you'll notice I did not include the step for adding the feet to this dresser. It's pretty self-explanatory, but what happened was I ordered feet with this weird attachment and they bent. I totally messed up. They bent, took them off, and instead I used wood feet. They were unfinished with a metal plate, and that worked so much better, and they turned out beautifully, and I love the way it looks. So you can see my little wooden dowel trim piece that covers my little space. You would hardly notice if I didn't say anything. The wood feet are not as square as the Pottery Barn one, but I'm okay with that. I liked the size. I liked the shape. I thought it looked beautiful. Now I went ahead and added a layer of polyurethane. It's a matte finish, so it's not glossy or shiny. But if if I want to dust the top, a little wet dusting, it's not going to ruin my stain or open the wood or anything. I love the soft close drawers. It just, when you're in a hurry and you'd like to close a drawer really quick, it's just so much nicer to just be able to kind of like push it closed and know it's just going to pull that extra inch closed all by itself, and I don't have to worry about drawers hanging out. This is such a solid, heavy piece. It's very high quality and awesome. I will put the stains that I used in the description as well. And I would highly recommend Pine Poplar. I'm going to make matching nightstands, so be sure to subscribe and check those out.